Welcome to another episode of the Don Davis Real Estate Show. It's your host, Don Davis of Don Davis Luxury Realty Group, brokered by EXP, broadcasting live here from the Word in sunny South Houston, Texas, 100.7 KKHT, The Word. In the beginning was the Word was God, and the Word was with God. Upon that rock he built this church, and upon that revelation we have built our business on the testimony of Jesus Christ. That way we will not be shifty in times of doubt, and at the same time we realize that once you build your rock on the Word of God, you build your business on the Word of God, your results will be a reflection of your character, and you will get anonymous kudos from people who you have helped over the years that realize that you did something for them, and that was help change their life through the opportunity of home ownership. It's Don Davis of Don Davis Luxury Realty Group, broadcasting live. Hey, we got a special guest in the house today, Lawrence Hooks, straight out of NRL. The coffee's kicking in, and I said NRL, National Nations Reliable Lending. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Nations Reliable Lending, and I call him one of the most reliable loan officers in Houston, Texas. No other but my special guest, Lawrence Hooks. So how's it going out there in the real estate business, Mr. Hooks?
Oh, it's all going well. Market strong. It's doing well. People are buying houses. People are refining. It's a great time to buy a house.
Great time to buy a house. And I think the biggest slogan I like to give Mr. Hooks is he gets you hooked on home ownership. He hates to see people rent, and that's why you definitely want to contact Mr. Hooks, because he has all kind of programs. A lot of times people think they have to rent, and we just before the show even started, I was just talking to our producer here. Our producer here was looking to build credit, and they wanted to know some different vehicles to build credit. So I know you're a specialist in things like that. Go ahead and elaborate on how you would help a first-time home buyer who was never even have any credit. They don't even have any credit. Walk me through what you would give that person, what type of advice you would give that person.
Absolutely. So up front, first thing is jump over the curve and just get in the game. That's the first thing I would say, is put the fears to the side. So I know sometimes people get nervous, and just see what you can do. That's the first thing. And from there, someone like myself as a mortgage professional, you want someone to look at your credit, not just look at it, be able to dissect what's going on your credit. Sometimes it'll be a lack of just not having a credit card. So when people think that they need an actual loan or a car, no, those things actually hurt your debt to income ratio, actually more so.
Exactly. So your DTI can be staggered if you go into a long-term commitment on an installment loan.
Absolutely.
Versus a line of credit or a revolving account. So you already touched on something that could change the world right there. As people think having an installment loan is a good way to build your credit, but actually it's just the opposite. It's better to start off with a credit card than an actual long-term commitment like a student loan, an auto loan, a furniture loan. Those loans actually cost the most, but help the least.
Absolutely.
So I think that was one of the most important things to definitely make sure we jump out of the boat on, and because I'm always going to tie it back to the Word of God. You said you got to overcome the fear and apply.
That's correct.
The main thing is a lot of people are afraid to apply, and when you're afraid to apply, you never get started. And so at church today, at Lakewood Church, we had a guest pastor. Pastor McManus out of Hollywood, California. He mentioned on the fact that you got to overcome your fear. He mentioned he saw his brother get bit by a dog when he was a kid, and he was afraid of dogs the rest of his life. And some of us, I think, have gotten bitten financially before because we're afraid to apply. Last time I applied, a certain credit union told me no, so I've never applied again, and I've been renting 15 years because I was afraid to apply. But I think applications are great. It's kind of like a financial physical. When you go to the doctor for a checkup, they tell you, hey, you need to lower your cholesterol. You need to watch your sugar. You need to watch what you eat. Well, the same thing applies to finances. When you pull their credit, you can tell them, hey, you're heavy on installment accounts, but you're light on revolving accounts, but you're heavy on these month-to-month accounts, so like cell phones and things like that. What loan officers like Lawrence do is they bring balance to your financial condition. And when they bring that type of balance, it really doesn't cost you anything.
It doesn't cost you anything.
So they can contact you right now, and they don't have to pay anything to apply.
Have to pay anything.
Well, first, before we go to a break, go ahead and tell them how to contact you. We're going to go ahead to our first break right after he tells you how to contact Mr. Lawrence Hooks, of one of the nation's most reliable loan officers, and he can be located right here in Houston, Texas.
That's correct.
So how do I get a hold of you, Lawrence?
You just simply pick up the phone and call me.
Call you. What's your number?
713-471-6108. 713-471-6108.
Love where you live. Love what you do. Love your finances. Head to a break. Love's going to get you. DDLRG, Don Davis Real Estate Show. I am Don Davis of DDLRG Luxury International Real Estate, and when it's time to make a business decision about your residence, please keep in mind, it's a Don deal.
You want to excel, Don Davis is a great guy to work for. I mean, he's a great teacher and a great leader.
He's more than family. He's the guy that's actually helping me roll. I didn't know anybody when I moved out here. He's the guy rolling his sleeves up saying, come on, let's go move what you got to move.
When it's time to make a business decision about your residence, it's a Don deal. We're back. Your host, Don Davis of DDLRG Luxury International Real Estate Group, brokered by EXP, broadcasted live here for 100.7. We keep it in 100.7 KKHT, the word. In the beginning was the word was God, the word was with God. Upon that rock we've built our church. We're broadcasting live, talking about what do I need to do to apply to borrow money, because we have a gentleman here who's one of the most reliable loan officers in Houston, Texas, and none other but Mr. Lawrence Hooks, and he wants to get you hooked on home ownership. Everybody wants to get hooked on everything else. They want to get hooked on keto diets. They want to get hooked on phonics. They want to get hooked on this, hooked on that. But let's get hooked on home ownership. Don't y'all think it's time to get hooked on home ownership? I know I am. I'm hooked on home ownership. Been in the business since 2006, so that's 13 years in the business, and I'm hooked on people buying homes, because I know once somebody buys a home, there's a chance that they'll never be poor again. Yeah, I just got a sneaky suspicion that generational wealth begins with home ownership, and that's why I've married myself to the game. People say, what type of game is it? What type of business is it where you marry yourself to it? Well, I'm married and I'm hooked on home ownership, because I can say real estate has been good to me. I don't know what it's done for you, but it's definitely been good to me. It's been good to Mr. Hooks with
Absolutely.
NRL Mortgage. Also, give me some more background. How did we meet, and also what did you do before you became a home ownership mortgage loan officer? And then what drew you to this, and why are you so passionate about this business?
Oh man, it's a beautiful story actually. So, just to be dead honest about everything, and I think that's the most beautiful way to be.
Exactly.
So coming out of school, finished in 14 when I came out of school from Prairie View. PV, are you with me? All right, I just want to make sure, if you're not with me right now, we're going to share this to PV. So PV, this loan for you, this is going to the hill right after this. So you came out of PV in 2014, yeah.
and then and give kind of what was everything lined up at that point? What because we walk the stage, we don't know what we're going to do. We find ourselves waiting for a call instead of directing ourselves. We kind of wait. We're reactive instead of proactive. Kind of let me know what was it that you did as soon as you got out?
Right out of school, I wanted to change the world. It's still the same way. You want to change the world.
Exactly.
So I wanted to do it and become a financial advisor.
All right.
So I got my license 6 and 63 as well too.
Oh wow.
I worked with Northwestern Mutual coming out.
Nice.
Selling life insurance.
Okay.
And wanting to do annuity, start setting up financial planning as well too. And then after that, after some time went by and learning the market after studying, there was a huge demand for home ownership for those who truly just had that fear or couldn't believe that they could get there, or cash to close was an issue. And then we came to a point where, as time went on, I wanted to purchase my first home, as some people run into errors of going to your major banks.
Yes.
And they'll just, major banks have a lot of clients. Let's just say that.
So it's so automated and streamlined.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't get to know who you are as a borrower.
A lot of them may not offer programs that's available.
Exactly.
And when it came to my time to purchase a home, after purchasing the home, learning the process, went through one bank, went to another, then went to the third one, and actually NRL helped me purchase my first home.
That's awesome. So
yeah.
that's a testimony right there. So they helped you buy a home, and now you actually work with them, partnering to help others buy homes. That's nation's reliable lending. And you're one of the most reliable loan officers in Houston, Texas. But what I like is and I don't know if everybody realizes what he did, but he actually kind of got his kind of like his financial master's and then came back to the bachelor's, because an S63 for a financial planner is pretty difficult to get, right?
Yeah.
The test is a little bit more difficult than the loan officer's license, right?
Yeah, it's a lot different.
So elaborate on that a little bit, just to let them know that you're not just dealing with the traditional loan officer here. No. So dive into the S63 a little bit more, the preparation and some of the companies that have people who have that, like I think, like you said, Northwestern Mutual, New York Life, and all those guys. So that's, and I know enough about it, but I don't know it like you know it. So is that's a financial planning designation?
Not a designation. It sets you up able to trade like mutual funds. Able to set up portfolios. For people that has a mix of stocks and everything else inside of them as well too. Or it's also bonds, mix of stocks, and that's the step you want to take. Then you start working on getting your credentials to become a financial planner or advisor. So you still have that license, you don't practice it, but you exactly.
Wow. So that's the license beyond home ownership. I'll be honest, I toot my own horn a lot. I'm pretty good at establishing equity and tangible assets as far as real estate investments and things like that. But what I'm most impressed about with you, Mr. Hooks, is that you have a license that not only helps you with non-tangible assets. So that's basically, you know how to evaluate trading and things like that.
Exactly.
So if you can evaluate trading and things like that, I think when it comes to somebody's personal budget, that you shouldn't have a challenge at all, letting them know, hey, this is going to give you the biggest bang on your buck if you're going to get this interest rate over this term and things like that. Especially speaking of that, what products do you offer? Like, do you have FHA? Do you have conventional? Do you have VA? Do you have Seth? Do you have any of those?
We have all of anything to get the job done. It should be called "Get It Done" mortgage. That's what we find any way how to make anything work. I mean, I've had borrowers from who purchased if it was 150 to up to $500,000. So
awesome.
I mean, but the key thing is two things key to a multi-billion-dollar company to someone who makes $50,000-$60,000 a year is everybody wants to know how much am I bringing to closing, what's my monthly payment.
Correct.
That always stays the same.
CTC. We hear it so much, we abbreviate it. We have an acronym. You know, these kids like to text message all the time to make an acronym. So we call it CTC, cash to close. How much do I need to bring to closing? Cash to close. And then you say, what's the monthly payment? What's the interest rate? What's the taxes and insurance?
Absolutely.
Also, do you have any products that have down payment assistance?
Oh yeah. We have Texas Department of House and Community Affairs is very popular. Seth Gold. You have Lyft. You have they even have one that doesn't have an income restriction. It's called.
Oh wow, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
A lot of people don't like to use it because it is set up as a second lien.
Okay,
but I've used it a couple of times. If someone made $200,000, because of course the programs do have income restrictions, but
correct.
This one does not. I can't remember.
The majority of them do have income restrictions. But I tell you what, it's a lot of programs out there, and I know you can't remember all of them all the time. But until you get presented with that situation that's in front of you, then you know, hey, I need to assign this one for that particular borrower. Well, man, I like to say, I like the fact that you graduated from Prairie View. I also like the fact that you went ahead and got your S63 license is what it's called.
6 and 63, yep.
X6 and 63. That's a financial planner license, and that's very difficult to do. And then you came back to bring that experience and that financial wisdom back to your community to help others achieve the dream of home ownership. Once again, you need to contact Lawrence. Like I say, he's hooked on home loans. He will not stop until you are approved. We're going to go ahead and head to our next break. Love's gonna get you. Love where you live. You're listening to the Don Davis Real Estate Show here on KKHT 100.7. The Word. I am Don Davis of DDLRG Luxury International Real Estate, and when it's time to make a business decision about your residence, please keep in mind, it's a Don deal.
DDLRG is for all family groups, whether it's singles, married couples, or families. They specialize, however, in the higher-end upscale properties, but they can handle all borrowers.
We want to create raving fans.
When it's time to make a business decision about your residence, it's a done deal. We're back. Don Davis Real Estate Show, DDLRG, Luxury International, broadcast live here from KKHT, 100.7 The Word. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. Upon that rock he built this church. Upon that rock we've built our business, and our results are a reflection of our character. If you do not believe me, go to our HAR reviews, and we will put our money where our mouth is. It's all about satisfaction, customer surveys. I tell people nowadays, if you picked a bad realtor, that's on you because you did not take the time to research them. As a matter of fact, nowadays, anything you do, there's reviews, and if somebody doesn't have any reviews, that's your first clue that they don't do a lot of business. But once you see somebody who has strong testimonials, you know they're a good business. If you don't believe me, check out the Turkey Leg Hut. Man, they have lots of great reviews. Check out the Breakfast Club. They have lots of great reviews. Well, then last but not least, check out Don Davis Luxury Realty Group. They have lots of great reviews. So does NRL, Nation's Reliable Lending. Got Lawrence Hooks, straight out of PV 2014. 5 years in the business, went ahead and did the hard stuff first, got his Ed 63 license for financial planners. That's the day traders. That's what I want to be when I grow up. Right now I'm helping people with home ownership, but I'd love the opportunity to become a day trader and trade stocks and bonds from my phone, which is also one of the reasons we joined EXP. So if you know of any realtor looking to expand their business, we would love to have you at EXP. EXP is one of the first businesses that offer realtors the opportunity to buy stock at a 20% discount on every transaction. So if you want to learn more about that, get your real estate license, come get brokered by EXP, where you can be a real estate expert. But now enough talking about the experts. Let's talk about the nation's most reliable lenders in Texas, and one of those is Lawrence Hooks, live with me in the studio. So Lawrence, you got that S63 now. You helping all the homeowners. You and I both have lived in both Houston and Dallas, and there's a Technoplex thing going on where they're building a bullet train that's going to run back and forth. So how do we let people know that we're the Gotsey Martins of the real estate business? You know, Gotsey Martin, those guys, I just got hit.com. I think they do business in both Dallas and Houston, right? So do you have any intention of doing home loans in both Dallas and Houston as well?
Absolutely. I'm from Arlington originally, so I would love to do. Actually, I do business out in DFW. Would definitely want to do more just to go back home, and it's nothing like going back home and doing it.
Yeah, it's nothing like helping home. You know, people, you come out, you make it out, and then you realize, okay, I want to bring them with me, you know, because that same way I am in San Antonio. My focus right now is 713 and 210 because I'm originally from San Antonio, from a neighborhood called Denver Heights, and you know, you have a Heights here in Houston, but your Heights is my Heights is more like Sunnyside. Your Heights is more like Alamo Heights. So it's a little bit different, but I definitely can't say I've come up out the mud. My mom used to take me on the Metropolitan bus to the Parade of Homes every year and said, baby, I just don't want you to be a woulda, coulda, shoulda brother. I want to make sure I'm raising a son that's not going to have to live in what he came out of. So I always give my mama glory and honor for not first for raising me in the church, and then second for showing me I was not a product of my environment, and that I could see beyond that. So people say, well, man, how'd you get in luxury homes and you was raised in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath on pier and beam with burglar bars and a water cooler, with a water cooler and with a store around the corner that sold goose liver on crackers. You know what I mean? I could keep going with you with oxtails and pig feet and go get me a Chinese candy from the store. I mean, I had Rospers around the corner too. So I've been there, done that, and I've seen pros and cons of both sides. I'm suburb living now. Now I'm in Katy, Texas, not near La Centera, and my office is in the Galleria. So I've seen the pros and cons of each community. But I know more importantly than anything else, like you say, I feel like God brought us out of those situations for us to give back, to help others. And then you also have some people who prefer to stay in the hood. I'm all about that. You know, I mean, there's some people say degentrification and things like that. No, everybody buying a house in Third Ward is not there to degentrify. Trust me, it's some people moving back to Third Ward. I'm all about that. As a matter of fact, I'm helping a single young lady close on one this week in Third Ward for $250,000. So everybody that's spending money out there is not not there to degentrify. Some people just there to bring the community aspect
Absolutely.
back. And that community aspect is also something that's very important to the Houston Black Real Estate Association and the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. Also, the EXP has a network called BEN, Black Expert Network. And basically, it shows the fact that degentrification is an option, but it's also a choice. You know, we also have the same opportunities to reinvest in our neighborhood. So once again, me and Lawrence, we help all races. We help all, you know, we don't violate federal housing laws. We do not violate federal housing laws. So we help everybody. As a matter of fact, 9 times out of 10, my Katy colleagues are typically of other cultures. So, I mean, the main thing is be a good business person.
Absolutely.
And the referrals will keep coming.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, now let's touch on the core a little bit. So Lawrence is in the core training with me. And you people say, well, Don, how do I know he's not like everybody else? First of all, if he's on this set with me, he's not like everybody else because I didn't charge him to get here. So I paid for him to come here today. So that lets you know, first of all, Lawrence Hooks is not like everybody else. He's definitely somebody I'm willing to refer my clients to, somebody I trust my clients with. And once again, he's with NRL, the nation's most reliable lending. And also, he's a reliable Texan. You know, he's from Texas. So you definitely want to make sure you deal with trustworthy people where you know where to find them. You want to talk on anything else? We got about 4 minutes left. So I want to make sure you get everything out there that needs to be out there about how to contact you, about your background, about who you want to help change their life and to give them the dream of home ownership.
The only thing I would really want to say is just don't be afraid. Just go. You have 2 different types of people who are already ready. They know the process because they've been educated. You have another group who has not been educated. Either way it go, it doesn't matter because either way it go, both parties will get the best deal. That's the key, is getting the best deal. You want someone who's going to work with you, not against you. You want someone who's going to present the best for you and give you the best opportunity to, like, 2 things is make sure that you're getting the best deal to bring the least amount of money to closing as possible. And making sure your monthly payment is correct. But I'm going to touch on the people who just a little bit afraid to jump. I had just everything is based off of stories. You tell stories, people can relate. Exactly. I had a lady who I worked with. We worked together about for a year. Mm-hmm. I first met her. Her credit was 550 when I first met her. Mm-hmm. And couple, she had some. You know, she was able to bring the cars down. She showed her exactly what she needed to do. And then from there, as time progressed on by. She purchased her first home, went from a 550 to a 660. Wow! Within a year,
110 points. That's awesome.
Yeah, within 1 year, and showed her exactly what she needed to do. But what's more?
But let me say something right there too. You didn't charge her.
No.
Yeah. See, and that's another thing. Everybody wants to charge you for credit repair. He's not charging you. He's counseling you. Go ahead.
Yeah. And what's finessing that was great about the story is. Just maybe months ago before that, she lost her husband. Her and her husband was going to buy her for their first home together, but she continued the path. Wow. She continued, and that happened. That was devastating, losing your partner. And then after that, they were supposed to do something together, and still did it. I mean, it was making the great stories for people, man. That's why I'm in this business.
Wow. So she can go to bed at night praying and saying, "Hey, husband, I did it. I still did it." You know what I mean? He set her on the right track before he left the earth. So, man, that's what I'm talking about. I tell everybody, a true business, a true testimonial will outlive the actual person involved in it. So the husband wasn't alive to participate in it. They talked about Moses never got to see the promised land, but he made sure the everybody else saw the promised land. So in that situation, the husband didn't have a chance to inherit it, but at least his wife did. And I'm all about it for my kids. You know what I mean? I tell my kids, you know, my job is to make sure you do better than I did. And if you do better than I did, then I did my job. So anything we do, if we lease the home, we need to make sure they buy a home. If we own one house, then we need to make sure our kids buy 2 houses. Right. And if you are on set to help better somebody else's life, you are right where you need to be. I just want to encourage everybody, like you say, Lawrence was in the house today to make sure we overcame the fear of applying for a loan, and he wants you to hop into home ownership with Hooks. and Lawrence Hooks to get hooked on home ownership because it's very important that we overcome those fears and realize fear is just that. It's false evidence appearing real, and all you do is get somebody experienced like Lawrence to help you in the right direction. Well, that's it for this week. Keep in mind, love where you live, love where you work, love who you with. DDLRG, love's gonna get you. See you next week.
Davis Realty. Do business with the best in the industry. Do business with the Davis Realty. Do business with the best in